And we are back, and welcome to the Parts Unknown, known as the Clem and Claw Show. Today, another edition, the 28th of June, 2021. My name is Clement Okufo. Alongside my Claus Clem, second and fourth Mondays at 9:30 p.m. is the show. If you're a guest and you want to, come on the show, let us know via Twitter or via anything. So, there's not much more for me to say right now in the intro. So I leave it to you now. So I'm done.
Um, yeah. So it's been kind of an interesting time for myself. Transferring over. This is the summer, so you had a couple of people that's everybody's traveling. Everybody's trying to get fights in.
Yep.
Folks out on summer break, depending on their jobs or their career or their schooling. So it's been kind of an interesting time period right now in the fight game.
Yep. And for people who haven't noticed, we've had like four fights this month. I don't know if we're gonna have this many cat fights in a month ever for a while. Yes, four people.
Yeah.
One of the fans on Twitter brought it up. I didn't even know we have like four of them, and they all came in like 1 week, 1 week passed, another week, same week, and then the last one was last Monday. I'm sorry. So by the way, the pictures, if you see the pictures of the one, I think it's Gia and Kira. So they had their rematch. I know who won, but not gonna spoil it for everybody else. If you're a sponsor, the video is already out. They already they already sent it to you. Everybody else, what they're gonna say is everybody else, if you don't contact them, it's gonna go up $10. So instead of 35 with 45 when they put it on their websites, them whatever. Business is business, whatever. It's cool.
I mean, I'm not going to tell people what to do with their, even
Never
as a
mind.
producer, I can't tell people what to do with their pricing or whatever, but it's kind of like the price is the price. Do I think it would be worth $45? I know the first one was not. So
No.
I mean, I've seen the damage photos and all of that.
I
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I
So,
got some reports. I
um,
got some reports from some people said it was better than the first one. That's think of it how you want to think of it, but I'm like you. I saw the damage photos. I'm not, I'm like
yeah,
you.
it's just, I'll put it this way because of the fact of the matter is, you had so much going on. And I know with me, with my summer budget is different. So I could spread it out maybe a little bit and get a little bit, because I still got to get with Chris, because I know he had the fight with Alexa Baby. It just,
Yeah,
you know, yeah, so. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, but that would be my only thing. What was the other fights you? Oh, we had the Mexican cat fights. We had that.
that was the best out of all the four fights. That was the best one for me. Out of all the four,
Yeah,
clearly,
I
clearly,
just yeah. It was. I'll let you give your
I was
take on it.
impressed. I was impressed by it. I was impressed by how hard these girls were fighting. It's like, you know what I mean? The first round was okay, it got more and more interesting by the minute. You know what I mean? It got more and more intense, you know, and then in the end, for me, the last two rounds, I'm not saying too much, it went 3 rounds. I'll say that. That's all I'm going to say on that fight. It went 3 rounds. There is a winner. If you're a fan of hair pulling, a lot of it. If you're a fan of tip ball, if you're a fan of body punching, a lot of it. And he did something a little different than most producers. He started off with 3 rounds of body punching, and then he ended it with 2 rounds of face slap, which you don't see very often by any producer. So there wasn't no
No,
laughing, there
not
was
at
no
all.
nervous energy, none of that. And then they got right down to they got to the business. The thing about this fight was it was interesting that the hotel people like no they were in the middle of the thing in the middle of this round wanting more money, so that bothered him. So that was interesting. I had never
Yeah.
seen that.
Oh, I'm
I have
sure it
never seen
happens
that.
more often. I'm sure it happens more often
I
than
hear
we
you.
know, especially if you look like anything of the old school, like say Manila cat fights or whatever, or the
Yep,
Philippine cat fights. I wouldn't
yep.
be surprised if that happened the same way for a lot of them fights. Oh, what y'all doing? Okay, pay us extra 200. Well, act like it don't exist. I'm sure. I'm sure that's happened. I just hadn't
But
had it
yeah.
happen to me, but I'm sure is
But like I said, I'm very for considering this is his. I mean, he had one fight, but this is like his major cat fight. He did well with it. There's a few things
yeah,
that I feel he needs to work on, but other than that, the most important thing is kept the girls and focus in the viewfinder. If you can't do that, that's like number one as a producer. If you can't keep showing the girls in the viewfinder, product ain't gonna work. So he did
yeah.
that well.
Regardless of stabilization and all of that.
Yep.
I mean, there's some technical elements, but I'm sure there's some stuff he went back and looked in the editing. He was like, "Ooh, I wish I could have did that more. Or I wish I could have did that better." But I get it.
I thought he did well with it. I think he did well. He was, it's impressive what he did. Like you said, he did the camera work pretty good. Him being a referee, which is a hard thing to be, being a referee and a camera person. You know how about that
Right, right.
because you're so focused on getting the girls in focus, and then when they're moving around the mat, you want to be, you want to
You
be
can lose
moving
track of
too.
time. You can
Yep,
definitely.
he did well with that. He did very well with that. He was very good with the rules. Of course, in a fight like them, of course there were some rules that were broken, but I'm not going to say too much on it. He was on it. He did well. The only thing I was not, the only thing that kind of bothered me was the interviews right at the end, which was weird. I've never seen the interviews at the end of a cat fight, but okay, but it was interesting. But yeah, the fight itself was 15 minutes. It was 3 rounds in 15 minutes. A good 15 minutes too. I'm not slow 15 minutes. It was action in all these rounds. They're talking about having a rematch in 2 months, but people are trying to push. Some of these fans are trying to push. Calm, right? Fans, calm down. The man just finished wrapping up the thing. Give the man maybe even three, right? And give these girls time to recover. Because I saw the pictures of Valentina. What happened to Valentina, man? She had like, I think she had like some bruising. Calm people. The punches she was taking were not soft punches. They were like really hard punches to the body. So, and same thing with Santana. So people need to calm down. I think he's on the
Mm,
right track right now. I think he's on the right track. He just needs to, I think he found a gold mine trying to find all those girls in the Latin community. So let's hope he can find some that are interesting. He shows them the video, shows them what he wants, and then go from there. This is like a throwback fight scene to me compared to other people
right.
because there was no wrestling at all in this. None. This was strictly catfighting. People like Blake, people like sir, they like this kind of stuff. I know for a fact they were loving this, right? And I have to
Yeah.
admit, I like it too. So
I didn't like it as much as I thought I would have.
mm,
Again, I think, but once you made the crystal films analogy, I guess in our pre-show, now okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. So hold on one second, Clem. Hold on one second.
go
Talk
ahead,
about the
go
the
ahead,
fourth fight. I got to take a quick break, real quick.
go ahead. The fourth fight you're talking about is Gia and Kira, I guess. Okay. All right, fans. We're taking a little break at the moment. The man has to fix his connection a little bit. So we were talking about the Mexican cat fight between Santana and Valentina. Uh, I I mentioned it as what did I mention it as? I forgot already what it was. I mentioned it as a Crystal Films fight. For people who understand, Crystal Films is like an old school cat fight where most of the time Crystal Films girls were face punching, body punching, hair mauling tits. That's exactly what this was. So in shape or form, it was a good fight. It was a very good fight. It wasn't a boring fight by any means. There was action everywhere around the mats. A few times they had to come to the center because they were too close to the back. Uh, Quality cat fight. There is a winner. That right now. You have to get the video. Sponsors got the video last Sunday. It is now on Clips for Sale. All of it, actually. I think it's for Clips for Sale. He's also selling through gumroad.com for the full one. For the Clips for Sale, the light version. So you won't see the interviews. You won't see the behind the scenes stuff. But if you go to Gumroad, you'll see all of it. Quality fight, good fight. Uh, so I was happy with that fight. Hopefully he can get some more girls and then everything will be good and then go from there. So like I said, we're in the middle of a break right now. So everything's all good right now, people. When he comes back, we're back to it again. But until then,
Okay, Clem, I'm back.
yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Yes, I got 4 bars. So good.
Oh, good.
I got I got
Let's
four
carry
bars.
on. You're
So
good.
let me make sure we got it right. So you got the Mexican cat fight. Mexican cat fights. It was Gia, Shakira. We already talked about that. And then you had Alexa Baby versus the lady from Chris, and the sexy
Hmm.
husband, or have you. And what was the fourth one?
The fourth
Was
one,
that Davina? Was that Davina and Alexa Brooke?
the Alexa. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we
we
talked
talked.
about that.
We
Yeah.
talked about that one. Summarize it,
Um.
anyways. Yeah, just for the people who weren't paying attention 2 weeks ago, we're just gonna summarize it as a slow, laborious fight. If you're a fan of
Oh yes, Lord.
wrestling, if you're a fan of Tim Mullen, that's the kind of you would want. I will say that Davina had a lot of chances in this fight actually, because Alexa was not at her best, and neither was Davina. Sorry, I said Alexis. Alexa struggled mightily against uh, Davina more than any time in this fight. Do you agree? She struggled a lot fight. I've seen it 4 times now, and she struggled mightily,
Yeah.
right? Because usually Alexis overpowers her opponents, but she could not overpower Davina at all. We said
I
before,
mean, some stuff is just physics.
the wall had more
Yeah.
action than the mats. I'll leave it there. Now on to the Alexa versus Blonde Baby one. Even though it was 0-0, Alexa very well defensively because Blonde Baby opportunities, or shall I say, she had control for the majority of the match. Her all kinds of moves, but she could never ever get her to tap.
Mm.
And unfortunately for Blonde Baby, she's also susceptible to a lot of face slapping because they allow face slapping in this fight. So she was susceptible to face slapping a lot because she had Alexa in like scissors a lot, guard a lot. She just could never find a finishing move because they allow chokes too. So that's good for you, those claws. So they allowed all that stuff, but she could never get her. the thing was the match was all about missed opportunities. Both ladies were on top of the spots in this thing. They just could not find a finishing submission. So good fight, very good
Okay.
fight, action, but no submissions. Sorry,
Okay.
spoilers off for everybody, but nothing.
Okay. Yeah, but going back to the Mexican cat fight, like I said, yes, it's more old school crystal films. Yeah, so I mean, I guess maybe my taste, I've gotten an acquired taste now, is like that style doesn't
Yes, you do.
excite me much anymore because it's
Gotcha.
like the me, I don't see much skill in. Okay, I'm gonna pull a girl's hair down to her waist, and she's holding my waist, and we're just gonna sit there well, and we're not looking at what we're seeing for a
Good
whole
point.
fight. That to me, there's no skill in that. It's
Good point.
like
Good point.
again, is it in the purity of a cat fight? Yes, but if you got two evenly matched or two newbies, and that's all we got, it's not very exciting at all. You know, like I said, for me, my classic style fight would be somebody like that Balor Gia fight, which
Yep.
they was going at the tooth and nail, two skilled fighters that were going at the tooth and nail that
Yep.
understood, like I said, you gotta move. You gotta move around. It just for me, it was just it wasn't my cup of tea. It is a classic style, but for me, not really mine. But sometimes it is what it is. I don't know if they went to full time or they just went 3 rounds and then once they had a one submission, that was it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. You just
I,
nailed it.
I
You
I
nailed it.
wasn't sure what the rules or the
You
thing
nailed it.
was, but even still,
Yeah.
it still was decisive victory. One
It
girl
was
came to play, they won the day, and well, both girls came to play, but one won the
both of
day.
them. One won
Both
the
of them came
day.
to play.
Yeah. They both came to
Going
play.
back to your list, now I know
Yeah.
originally in the one I saw on Twitter, I guess whenever you revised to, I hadn't seen it, but you had put both Santana and Valentina both on the list. I had disagreed with that one part. So, the loser
Which part do you
being
disagree
on
on?
the list, with
Which
the
one?
loser being on the list. No, you lost. No, you out. The first time, I
You
don't
weren't
know
you
if
the
I
one that
would ever
said
see.
weren't yeah. Weren't you the one that said if they lost 1-0, you would put them on the list? That's your words, not mine. You said that 2 weeks ago. Your
Did I
words.
say that? Then if
Yes, you
there was
did.
1-0, I would put them both on the list.
You did say this. Yeah, you said if it was 3-2 or 1-0, you put both of them on the list, even the loser. Your words, and I agree with you.
But then again, all 1-0 fights aren't the same. And for me,
That's
as a
true.
1-0
You
fight,
did say that. You
all 1-0
did
fights
say
aren't
that.
the same. I was okay. Style of fight, but aside, the fact that I don't care for that style, that style
Gotcha.
anymore, or I've
Gotcha.
grown past that style.
Fine.
I never at any point. Okay, both girls came out aggressive. Both girls came out passionate.
Very.
Both girls, but because I guess because they do, the tiring became quick. Like the first round, I thought was the most even round, and I think
Yep.
it was that after the second round that you started to see the tide turn because the
Yep.
force of the punches was just taking it just a little
Yep.
bit more, and it's like, okay, how long is she gonna hold on before she give up?
Yep. I hear you.
It's like
I hear
again,
you.
and that's why. Oh, again, I don't know what to do because I couldn't tell between the Spanish, the English, or whatever. I just couldn't tell. This is why
Gotcha.
I'm more, and this is just for me as a producer. I used to have a where first fall and that was it. But what I started to find it
Okay.
being problematic is for a lot of the girls, especially they knew, they so lose, especially if there's enough money on the line between winning and losing. Now, when you get up to UFC level and you severely train, like a Balor and Gia or someone like
Yeah.
that, or a sexy wife of it, and um, um, lyric,
Lyric.
where boom, hey, we got 1-0 and that's it. Okay, fine. First person to get that submission tap, whatever, fine. But I think for newbies, sometimes they could be like, oh my God, I got to keep keep it up or try not to hold because I know if I tap, that's it. Versus the other fight that you talk about, the one for Chris, that's a little bit different because this other girl just would not give up. Even though she knows if I tap, I still get a chance to reset.
Yep.
Because sometimes I tell the girl, don't be a hero to the
Yeah.
point of injury. You know what I'm saying? That's
Correct.
where it's like, yes, you want to show grit and toughness, but you don't want to be a village idiot too. You still got to walk out of here. Like,
Got
it's like, I'm not saying, oh, just give up and just, but you got to learn how to live the fight another day, especially if there are points involved. Like, I know some rules and some leagues, like, I know with us, we had like, okay, if you had like certain submissions was a point value, other submissions that we know we would
yes.
like to see more of, or there's more difficulty, should get a higher point value. You
I
know,
hear you.
so that's why I say to kind of add that intrigue of strategy in. Okay, I can either do this or I can do this, and just work with that. Um, that's just me, because I don't know if it was a thing. Or, okay, I'm just gonna keep wailing till one of us get 1-0, or I just don't want to give up because I feel like I'm not gonna even have enough time, or I'm
Yep.
not gonna have enough energy. Because how many times have we had a lyric or a Tilly or someone on this show, on this platform, say them very things like, "Oh, I realized I wasted too much time trying to fight when I should have just went ahead and tapped. I knew I was
Yep.
caught, just went ahead and tapped, and then had enough time to at least either get an equalizer or to get. You got to have that balance, and so
Yep.
that's
I
why I
agree.
like to have the me is for me about the girl. That's why I said for me that style of fighting, I'm past because it's like not saying it is better. It's just different. I'm past because I want to be now. I'm more intrigued of the mental state of the fighters. The whole thing about the physical, yes, it looks
I
great on
got you.
paper. You got two girls, literally nose to nose, breast to breast, whatever. You know, when it's symmetrical, whether it's two big girls, two small girls, whatever. The more closer
Mm,
they are, and dimensions is great, looks great. But now
got
it
you.
comes down to the mental part is what's going to
I agree.
separate
I hear what you're
the
saying, man.
aggression level that separates the next level. So I'm at the point now, I'm past the physical side. I want to go mentally what is going to, um, and so hopefully we'll have um, the producer from Mexican Cat Pies. We're working on trying to see if we can do an interview or something of that sort, uh,
Hmm.
or at least a chat or something to where we
Hmm.
can bring up those things and those things can get brought up. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's just yeah. But I kudos is, and I know getting that first one off has to feel good. The first
Oh
time
yeah.
I like for me, the first one I produce of any sort, will always be near and dear to my heart. Now, when I go back and look at it, it is like, oh wow, this is really amateurish. But it's a sense of badge of honor and pride because it's like I got one done. It's something about export, and once it's done, you hear that check mark or that ding or that bell, lets you know it's done. There's a feeling in that you can't. It may not be the best one, and you're going to be better from the everyone that you do after that. You'll be better. Very few people are going to have an illmatic from the get one up. But if
Right.
this is going to be the base of what he has, to me, the sky is up from here. Like you said, shooting, editing. You have all the different things. You got the situation you can't control. Police here knocking on the door. Okay. Or the housekeeping or whatever the hotel. That happens.
Oh
I'm in
God.
the hotel
Yeah.
right now in Louisiana, so
Yep.
that happens. So, um,
Yes, I
but
understand your
it's
point of
just
view. I got you. I understand your point of view on the list and all that stuff. I am reconsidering this list. People need to understand this is not a final list. The list it changes all the
it's
time.
a
I base it
fluid
off of
list. I like to say
the
it's a
it's a
fluid.
fluid list. It always for me it bases off performance, how you perform, man. Because if you win and you perform bad, I'm dropping you. I'm sorry. We're fans. We expect a performance. You're a producer. You
Is that
expect
why
a
you
performance.
originally kicked Alexa off the eight?
Yes, yes. Her performance against I know I take into account the medical stuff, but her performance was not great at all. Right? She won. Don't get on. Like you said, not one nothing fights are great, but we expected her to do more. We expected Davina to do more. And they were both poor. Let's be serious. Right?
Yeah,
I expected more out of Alexa because we all know she has a reputation in the fight game as being a
and she's
person that's
shown
heavy
it.
slaps. huh?
Right, and she's shown that.
And I
So it was,
showed it, and I expected more.
yeah,
And Davina, I expected more. These two are veterans. I expect more. Like you said it, they're veterans. We expect y'all to better. You're not rookies,
yeah. So,
right? We expect more.
um,
You said it yourself. Every time we see Lyric and Sexy Wife, we know what to expect, right? We don't need to say anything. They bring it all the time. Consistency. I just want consistency. I'm not saying every fight you're going to be good. I know you're going to have bad fights, but just want consistent fights, man. And you're
you have a
right.
bad day at often, but I guess the thing I
It
think what
happens.
may have disappointed us as a community, I don't think we expected both of them to have a bad fight on the same day.
No, they were
I
both poised.
think that's what it comes down to. I don't think both of us decided to have on that day.
Dude, it's not just
Nah.
us. It's not just us. It's everybody. You know things are
Yeah.
bad when Tilly says they have a bad day. Lyric says it. Adam, right? I expect them, you know what I mean. I expect these guys. They're the ones who are in, and you too. You guys are the ones running stuff. Y'all know what y'all want. Y'all know what we as fans want too.
Right.
So, like I said, bad days happen, but I had a bad day. Both
Yeah, they both had a bad day, and sometimes some
happen.
matchups just
It just don't work
sometimes some of the
sometimes.
matchups just doesn't come across well, and it's just like is what it is.
Yeah, but like I said,
Yeah,
I like I said, I will reconsider my list because, like you said, I probably will put Alexa back up there, but it doesn't really matter because this list, like you said, is fluid. It's not
it's
final.
so
People need
fluid.
to understand this. It's very
It's so
fluid
fluid.
because you have to take into effect, like you said, performance, who you fought, right, on the list or not. Because, like, let's take it for example. Like for example, Lyric fought against Sherry. Sherry wasn't on the list until she fought Lyric. She got dusted,
Uh,
but she made the list. I'm not saying she's on. She's not in the top 8, but she's at least made the list.
right, right. And I
And
think we
G,
can.
yes,
It is the eye test will tell you. You put her up against a Davina or anybody. Oh, it's murder
ah,
all day
it's over.
long.
Exactly,
It's over. A Gia
exactly.
is not going to be pretty. Now that being said, one thing I think would make for an interesting section today would be let's look into where does these fighters go from them 4 fights that we saw.
Yeah,
I would say starting with Alexa Brooke and Davina, kind of like what
yeah.
I had proposed and we had talked over the
Go ahead.
weekend. I think if so, you had Alexa beating Davina, and then you had earlier one of Tilly's productions of Candy losing to Paris. I
Correct.
say let's have the rematch happen with Alexa and Paris, and like if
Agree.
Tilly want to call it the Tilly Town Tower of you know tall towers of because these girls aren't
I got you.
small. Their
No, no,
height
no,
they
no, no,
got
no, no.
height on them, so
Yeah,
they all got height on them and some size on them. So tall towers, Tilly Town tall towers, title, whatever, all
right.
T's, whatever, alliteration. So
I
if you
got you.
did Alexa Paris rematch, and
Yep.
then for third place, if you had Candy fight Davina,
Correct.
um, I'm hoping Davina will have a better fight.
Me too.
Candy again, Candy to me really needs a good baptism. We know Lyric and Sherry would give her that baptism, and Candy's still chomping at the bit. So we got to
Correct.
find a
Yeah,
way to get it.
yeah. I've talked to her. She said she wants. She don't care now. I gave her like a list of people I think that will be in there. I agree with you with the lyric thing. I think she.
She
Yeah, you're
needs a
right.
true baptism to see if.
Yes, one person. There's only one person for it. You said it. There's only one person. Sherry's good, but not her. Not yet. It has to be lyric, but she has to be healthy first, right? That's the only person that can give her the true baptism.
But I think but I think a 70% lyric. Again, we talked about rehab assignment. A 70 to 75% lyric, I think, is more than enough to let Candy get a full grasp of if you want to be the baddest bee on the block, this is what you
This,
have to do.
yeah. And
Yes.
as you know, lyric, and you know how lyric is. Lyric brings the fight out of everybody. This is her. She does it to everybody. Ask Sherry. She brings the fight out of you. So you will be exposed. If you don't react, you will be exposed.
Right. If that's something that if they want to do, I will help with that, whatever I can. And even to the
Yeah.
point that I would add in to have where loser gets in on the face, gets ridden, and
Agree.
you know
I
how
agree
much
with you.
Candy don't care for that. I'm like, look.
I don't. Hey,
No,
this is it.
it just, and I think literally would be more than obliging. It's like
Oh yeah.
we're gonna
Oh
see the
yeah.
baptism. Mark your
Yes.
territory. Just let her know that.
As you
You've
said,
been
you
woman
said it.
handled.
You said it. If you don't want to be woman handler, perform. If you don't want to do that, don't lose. Don't get
Yes,
what you call
don't
it. Don't
lose.
get dusted. Right?
Don't
There's
get
nothing
on the
wrong with
plane. Don't
yeah.
book the hotel. Don't get the rental car. Don't do none of it. Don't even
If you're
answer
not
the phone call.
true, if you're not
Let
ready
it go
for
to
this,
voicemail. Don't
sorry.
let it go to
Blow the
voicemail.
whistle, man. Blow the whistle.
Um, I would say let
But
that
yeah,
be that.
back to your back to your thing. I agree with you. Candy
The
versus Davina. I agree. I agree with you there.
now going on to the Chris fight with. Do you think again? I'm going to try to. I'm going to hopefully try to. I'll have it before the next show. I'll buy it and get it and watch it before the next show. But from what I've seen and heard and so far in the interweb or what have you, yes, it's great because the 0-0, and I'm sure both girls would be frustrated that Alexa, probably from the standpoint of she wasn't able maybe to do more, and from
Yep.
Blonde Baby, she's gonna be upset that she ain't got this because she done seen enough. She's been in two fights with Sexy
Sexy
Wife,
wife.
and she understands how this is. So she understands maybe she just not the fact that she just couldn't get one. I don't know if it. Do you think it's enough to warrant the rematch, or if it's a thing of now let them go fight somebody else separate, and then maybe look at that down the line, depending on.
The
I mean,
rematch.
granted,
Yeah. Yeah. The rematch for me. I'm with you. Down the line, man. I don't. I don't.
down the line,
Mm,
I'm wanting to
down
see
the
it
line.
immediate.
I want to see them against
Um,
different people first, like you said. I want to see
um,
how they do it.
would you like to see Alexa against a sexy wife? Would you think it'll still be a bloodbath either way? It's just that with them two, they kind of equal skill level. It's just
Yeah,
um,
but sexy wife is gonna be too much for Alexa, right?
there's gonna
Because
be too much. Like you
because
gonna shield, like it'll be too relentless. Okay. So maybe somewhere, who knows? That'd be a thing for Chris. But
but
I
back to
think
your
Chris
point.
has a good foundation. I think
Yeah, yeah,
Chris has a good foundation. I think Chris and sexy husband and what I'm end up getting. I don't know which name he really want to go by, but um,
go ahead, call
I
him Chris. It's
think
good. We all know.
he's in a good position, in the best position. Really, in my personal opinion, of all the producers, between him
Yep,
and Adam, from the standpoint because of the content that they have. Like this is it.
yep,
This is X, Y, and Z. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is what we need. This is what we want. And the girls, I think that they're going to get to come in is going to have a better idea of this is what it takes. Again, you can sit there and
yep,
watch because again, I've shown you folks that I done brought in. Look, this is what we're looking for to show them their production as far as the level of aggression, the level, and yeah. And then when it comes time to do it, they screw the pooch. They're just showing up for the check, and then they never mentally go there or physically go there. And it's just like,
there you go.
don't waste my time. Do not waste my time if you're not going to do. No, man. So,
I hear you.
um, I would say for then the next group, what was Shakira and Gia,
Uh,
uh I don't know what to say with it. Shakira again, she needs a baptism. I think
she
Shakira and Candy
is a
could be
baptism.
fun. Could be fun. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
Wait, I'm listening.
Let's do this. If we gonna go, let's say Sherry. I think Sherry needs another loss to get. I bet another fight to get that loss out of the system. Whether it's a Gia
Yeah,
or Shakira, whatever. I think Gia would give
yeah,
her a better matchup, a better fight because of the skill level. But I think Kyra, because of her size and strength,
yep,
you can't some stuff size you can't teach. Could be problematic for Sherry, but I think Sherry would still win either way.
yeah. I agree
Um,
with you.
I think the Gia fight would be more likely to happen because of the physical proximity.
Agree.
Because both of them is in Florida, I believe.
Yep,
Um, but
yep.
I would say in the case of
You can go ahead and call her Kira. That's fine. She goes
Yeah,
by that
Kira.
anyway.
Shakira. Okay. This is what I was thinking. Shakira versus Sherry to get that baptism.
Yep.
Candy versus Davina to get that. I mean, Candy versus Lyric to get a baptism.
Okay.
And then now that both girls understand what we really, really want, now give me Candy versus Shakira. And if one of them just completely blows it, then I
Bye bye.
think that's like a career in them.
Yep.
Because by now, if you ain't got it,
We
you're
got it.
just I can't do it.
We can't
You
help
just
you.
don't happen.
Right.
Um,
We're trying to ideas. I agree
uh,
with you with the what you said
um,
with Kira versus Sherry. I agree with you. They
the,
both need it.
the, last but not least, the interesting one would be the Mexican cat fight.
Yes.
I think it would be a lot more cut and dry. Now, correct me when I'm wrong. Valentina is the wife, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, without trying to spoil the ending or whatever, who won? I think, yeah. Well, I don't want to do it without spoiling the ending, but I think it's more problematic for the loser because of who she is. I'm trying
Yep.
to be nice about
Yep.
it. Where do you go forward from here? Because it's like, again, it's the mental side. Like for example, with my ex-wife, she went, did a couple of stuff, nothing to that level, God no. But I mean, I just trying to get her just to roll backwards on the mat would have been just enough for her.
Mhm.
But because she lost her love for it, because not only was she losing and losing badly, losing, but she was losing badly. So that
Gotcha.
killed her. Even though I was telling her, trying to reassure her that I said, hey, just the fact that you're getting out there, and she's getting out there with there was ladies that were almost 10 to 12 years younger than
Yep.
her, so they got a lot more energy and stuff like that. Uh, it's just that I said, dear, there was because she was so small. She was like 5'4", 115. There wasn't a lot of women that was her size. 5'3",
Mm.
110. 115. There's not a lot of women your size, so it's like it's not every day. Um, so I don't know what to tell you. Um, yeah. So it is what it is. But for both of them, I don't know where they go from here. I don't know, but I'm thinking for because he got the first one out, Mexican Catfight. Again,
Yep.
like Chris, like Adam, he now has a good template to where he can show other girls, look, this is how much it made. Look, this is how much we was able to do. In a couple of months, once people start finding out about the fight and folks get their
Yep.
paychecks or whatever line up to go and support or whatever. This is how
Right.
much it is. This is what we was able to do, and now you have this template going forward. So
Correct.
I think so. We'll see because you may have some other girls on the fence, but they may not want to be the first one to jump in. And
Mm.
now that when it happened, they'll see. Oh, okay, all right, this is legit. This is real. Okay, fine. Because it's nothing like getting that first one, the first, second one done, so you can have these clips to show.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, that's it, man. I agree with your statement, man. I agree with you. Baptism of fire, as you put it, for some of these girls. I agree with you with the Kara thing. She definitely needs someone. No, we're not trying to disrespect Gia because she's not fought her twice. So she fought Gia twice. You know, I'm not going to spoil the result. I was told the result, but I'm not going to say it. So we know what Gia is. We know what Kira is. But for Kira to really get the baptism of fire, she needs to fight someone your lyric for sure. She really needs the baptism of
She
fire
needs to fight
to
somebody
know.
her size that can
Yep.
really handle her.
Yep.
That can just like I'm
Yep.
going to show you how to use this weight like your size. Like I'm going to
Yep.
really give you that. And
Yep.
again, you're not. It's not your fault what you're
It's not your
born
fault.
with.
No, no, no,
It
no.
is what your fault is what you do with it.
Correct.
My issue is not what you're born with. My issue is what you do with it. So
Yep. And it's interesting that we brought up Candy. And who did we say we're gonna have her fight up against?
either I think it's Davina, if you go by the Tilly Town thing, or if you got her to fight either, I think either a Sherry or a Lyric would do the trick. I personally would want her to do um lyric. So
I agree. I agree. She needs to do. I agree with you. I think she needs to do lyric for sure. Totally agree. And
yep,
after Davina, I think Davina needs to fight against who is the other one? Yeah, we'll get to her in a minute. I agree with her. Side. Once Candy and Kira get the battle into the fire, then we bring, you know, we'll see.
yeah,
So
because
I
you look
agree
at it,
with
like I
you.
said, Davina and Shakira. If you look at it on paper, that looked like that could be a great fight. But
On
I think
paper,
that would have
yeah.
been a great fight 18 months ago. Now,
No.
I don't know because of the mental state. It's no longer at this point. It's no longer the physical. It's the mental state. I just don't
Mm.
know. I just don't know.
So you
So
feel like mentally right now the mental state is killing them at the moment, not the physical.
it's the mental state. Are they willing to go there? Be that vicious?
Yeah.
Like be where? Like what was it? The Davina lyric fight where she had her literally bleeding from her crotch. Like
Yeah.
to get to that level,
Yeah.
eh, I just don't think everybody's willing to go there.
I agree with you, man.
That's
I
that's
agree with
another
you.
level of savagery you have to be. Like almost,
Right.
it's like a controlled aggression. It's like I don't want to say it's
Controlled
like utter
aggression.
disregard for your opponent, but it's like, but it's like almost borderline sadistic, because it's like I'm, you know what I'm saying? It's the switch you gotta
Mm,
have.
mm.
There's a switch you gotta have. So
And some people have it and some don't.
some don't, and that's why I say it. Just you can find that versus. I'd rather take two people, even in size mismatches. If you gave me two people with the same mental state and they may be at different skills, let's say the smaller person is more skilled than the bigger person, like even that I think would be a great fight. It just wouldn't be
I
a great
agree.
fight if the bigger person is just as skilled as the smaller person, like i.e. Kerry versus Reagan.
Ooh, ooh, yeesh. That's different because both of them were skilled too.
Right,
Completely
but what I'm
different. It's just
saying is
that
when you
Kerry.
have that kind of size difference and both of them is
Yep.
that skilled, the bigger person is physics. The bigger person is always, not always, but nine
Yep.
times out of 10, barring injury or whatever, is always going to come out on top.
Yep. I agree with you, man. So your girl, again, what do you think about her debut on Sleeper Kid? Is that what it's called, Sleeper Kid World?
Yeah, I
I
I
saw, I,
haven't watched any of the Sleeper Kid stuff in years, man. Now, Sleeper
I saw a
Kid is an
picture of her.
OG. Sleeper Kid is a legend.
He
Sleeper
is.
Kid's been around the whole knockout there. Okay, we're gonna do the superhero thing. He
Yep.
has an audience for it, and Sleeper Kid has been as a producer has weathered the storm, many of storms, um, and from everything I've heard, he's always been top notch. So no,
Yep.
and even in the few dealings that I dealt with him when I was a young producer, trying to get my feet wet, trying to get a grasp on the business of what is this, you know,
Mm,
and Sleeper Kid kind of found his own niche because Sleeper Kid did a little bit of everything, in the beginning, which I think not unlike what a lot of producers had to do, where you
right.
get into where again doing a little bit of all different kind of matches to build a clientele, build your
Right.
base, to build your revenue till you really find the stuff that you're either really good at or just you get to a point. This is what I really, 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 really want to do.
Right.
Because I even find myself like there's certain matches I used to do I don't do anymore because either there wasn't profitable for or at least for me or for my girls or for my ladies or
Mm,
it was just it just didn't work. Like it worked in my head, but in real life when we tried to shoot it, it just didn't work. Um, yeah, so it just that's why I say, and then you get your niche when you realize, look, I'm really good at this, and I can do this, and I can make more money off of this. Hey, for Sleeper Kid, I hats off to him, OG legend. I'm kind of like how like with Sherry Stunz, you got to a point in your career you can kind of do what you want to do, and that's what he really wants to do with the superheroine, the knockouts. with the sleeper holes and stuff. I would argue he's probably one of the main reasons the whole thing of whether people would do chokeholds or well
Mm,
before the whole UFC ever decided about doing one. Well before that, there was any like
right,
professional women fight leagues or whatever.
right.
It's just like he made it a hot topic button issue amongst the ISCA and like seeking film fight boards and stuff like that, even back then.
Yep.
So, yes, sir.
Time to bring up Lady Oyanka. As you know, she's going on California. I think is it Van Nuys? Van Nuys, California, on July 24th. You already know. She talked about this already. I guess she's trying to
Yeah,
bring a
salute to
lineup of
Darius
girls.
for another. Salute to Darius, another OG legend
Yep.
for another one that's been out there.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
He is a legend. Facts.
Another OG legend. Also, shout out to Hans. Hans finally followed me back on Clark on Instagram, so I might keep my Instagram account just because he followed me back. So I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Big up Hans.
Hans,
Hans doing his thing. I think
Hans.
Hans, if I remember right, I think I saw him on Twitter saying some sell that he's doing. He's been doing a lot of sales for stuff. People check, man. Good. Check out his stuff. It's quality. I'm just speaking
And
up
I
because I'm
would
trying
say
to
with New
promote
York
the man.
opening back up, I think
Yep.
that will also help. And you know what? For that fight scene, this time off with the pandemic might have actually did some good because it allowed some bodies to heal and stuff like that. That if you were just
Agree.
going. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when y'all come back out, y'all gonna come back. It's just like not unlike NFL football where that first game, the
Yep.
first game of the season is always the scariest because now you got
Yep.
these guys hitting full hit that hadn't hit in months, and it
Yep.
seemed to be always so much vicious than it
Yep.
does later on in the season. That's just me. It
I
seems
agree.
like that first game, dudes be flying, they excited, we back on the field again, and
Yep.
it's just man, that first week or two, always to me is just like, oh, it just feel.
Yep.
Then after that, then you get your
Normal.
mid-season form kind of shape in. It's like, all right, but you're not gonna be, you never be like how you was in that first game, but you'll be at an 80%, 85, 90%, whatever
I
the
agree with
rest of
you.
the season. But
We have
that
so
first
many.
game,
Yeah.
them hits
Yeah.
is just
The first 2 weeks are the weeks where, like you said, you see the most injuries because, like you said, people are not hitting people because they're trying to save people from serious injuries and all that stuff. Like you said, once you get to like the NFL week 3, like okay, let's go, man. Right? Like you said,
all right.
we're
Right. We
fine.
done we got a game or two in our system. By
Yep.
then you done play home and away at least once. You done
Yep.
kind of got all right, cool.
Yep.
It's just the end of the season is rough. You got to
Oh
play in
yeah,
the
it is.
cold, and it's like I'm tired. It's a
The end of
long
the season is
season.
hard, man. The end of
And
the season
now
is
they
hard because
added the
yeah.
17 game and they added the 18 game.
Uh,
Oh,
are they are, are they
so
are they talking about an 18th game? I know they were talking about a 17. Are they actually talking about an 18? Oh Lord.
so we'll see
Is this
how
next
far
year they're
that.
talking about?
Oh no, God no! It'll be like the next collective bargaining agreement.
Which
Owners
was what, two
already
years from
looking at
now?
time.
Which is what, 2 years
Yeah,
from
they
now?
look at basically make the preseason instead of 3 weeks because they cut that preseason game and basically slid it over.
Okay.
You know, so the players you still want your check. We just slide the games because we all know having four. I remember when there was 6 preseason games. You don't need all the preseason games, but there was
Right.
14 league games. Then it went from 4 preseason games to 16. At the end of the day, the owners are never gonna get past 20 days.
No, no chance.
They just
The
want to
players will not allow it.
change because right. So
The
especially if you got to pay
players will
season
not allow it,
tickets,
man.
and I got to pay still the same full price for preseason game as I would the regular season game. Come on, man. I'm not trying to hear. Right. I'm not trying to hear it. And then how do you do pricing if you're the year? Well, okay. Well, we host 9, and then we're on 8 on the road, whereas you're the one that hosts 8 and you're 9 on the road. That's why I say
Yep.
that
Like you
inequity
said,
balance. If you're going
no.
to you're gonna go 18. You're gonna go 18 to make
You
that
might as well
balance
go.
work,
Yeah.
and then give
Yeah.
everybody 2 preseason games. I think 2 preseason games should be all you need, and then let's go.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right. 4 preseason games is too many games for me anyway. You do two. and then like you said, do an 18 game schedule, 9 home, 9 away, and then go from there. Right? It's easier that way, like you said. I
Right.
know the NFL's trying to make money and all that stuff, but if I'm the players, man, right? I'm playing all these. So basically, I'm playing 20 games before we even get to the playoffs. We're not even talking about the playoffs. You add that in there too. And the
Right.
way they do the playoffs with what the top team in the what call it the top team in the NFC and the top team in the AFC. That means everybody else. It don't matter if you're a 2 seed. You're playing on the weekend, right? Period. It's crazy, but the players will not go. The players are making too much money, putting their bodies on the line, knowing that they have career-threatening injuries, or it can have career-threatening injuries. These owners, too much money, man, too much money power in them. But then again, it's also the NFL too in general. But I'm like you,
Mm.
we got to find a way to make these player safety better for these players, man. There's too many people leave concussion or serious injuries. People can't walk. These players can walk, normal.
Right.
They know that they're taking a risk, but I mean, the league in general has to do better. Has to do better for the retirement players, right? For the players who are, we're seeing so many people having CTE scans and, like you said, and all this other stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, so how's your wrestling thing coming along? I know you can't say too much on it yet, but I feel like this is gonna be great, good for what's her name, Amethyst. She does. I feel like she needs
Right.
like something different. I know it's not
Yeah.
catfighting, but I'm happy that it's on course. I'm not saying it's course.
Yeah. We trying
She
at
needs
this
something.
point. Any means that. So yeah, but
She
we'll
deserves. She
sidebar
deserves a
that.
fight, right? She deserves a fight,
Right.
man.
It's just
Seriously, she does. It's getting ridiculous now. But yeah, I'll keep that on the
yeah.
sidebar. So we're pretty much wrapping up the show, people. We're almost 53 minutes in. Like I said, actually, the next show might be in a couple of weeks because I have something coming up now. I'll talk
So
about
it's
that
the
later on the
12th. I
sidebar.
think it's the 12th. I
Is it
think
the
it's the 12th,
12th?
right? Is it July 12th?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I will do it. July the 12th? Yes. Yes, indeed.
yeah.
We'll be there for that one. Like I said before, if there's any guests that are in the industry, fight industry, I don't care if it's session wrestling, I don't care if it's cat fighting. If you want to be on the show, contact us via
Right.
Facebook,
And for
via
those that's
Twitter.
out there, don't get hung up on the titles. You got people that want to get hung up on titles and be like, "Oh, well, I'm just a session cat fighter. I'm just a wrestler." I'm there. If you throw hands, I don't care, real, virtual, imagine, cyber, you know, I don't care.
Neither do I.
Show up. Show up.
Exactly.
So, knock
Plus,
on
it's
the
good
door, ring the
publicity for
bell,
y'all.
show up.
So, with
So,
that being said, again, my name is Clem Okufo. My socials are on Facebook are Clem 238, Clem underscore Okufo on Instagram, and Clem Okufo.
and I am Claus Webb, CLAWSWEB, on Instagram and on Twitter.
And again, one more time, the show will be back on the second and fourth Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time from the parts unknown until 2 weeks from now, which is July 12th. My name is Clement Okufo, Claus Webb. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy your rest of your night.
Bye bye.